I think that it's a bit of a waste of time. I think that Australians should be more forward. I don't see why we should be voting on something as trivial as, a relationship between two people. I just don't see the big deal. I think it's being made a massive deal, and I think that a lot of hateful rhetoric has come out as well because, people are just writing things that are just false. They're making a massive statement about, we're voting on whether two people should get married, not anything bigger than that, and it's being made something bigger than that, and I think that it wouldn't have been made that if it was just put through Parliament. I think that it's a waste of time and it just needs to be done, and people are wasting too much time and too much money. I think the money could go to hospitals or education, and I think it's a waste. I think it just needs to be done. I don't think it's a matter for opinion. I just don't see how anyone could have an opinion on something that is a right for people.
I don't know, it's a hard position because I definitely think with our generation, like millennials, we're very much so open-minded, and we're like, well, duh, obviously it's obvious, everyone should be able to love whoever they, want to, and it's not something that is affecting other people, it's just affecting that relationship. But then in a way, I do feel, even though I think it's a waste of money, but I do feel it is important for them to do some sort of survey, because a lot of the older generation, and even like for me, coming from an African background and growing up in Australia, my views are definitely very more open-minded in comparison to my family, and so for them, they're really against that, and they're like, no, it's not so much we don't accept people who are in a gay relationship, but it's more our views on religion and marriage should be between a man and a woman. So in a way, I feel it is important to have that vote, because then if, for example, Parliament just like changed it like that, those people would probably get really angry and be like, you didn't even give us a chance to talk about this. And so hopefully when it does go through, that gay marriage does become a thing, then those people have no basis on their argument because it's majority rules. So yes, it is a waste of money, but I do think it's a good thing in order to give a platform for both sides to be heard.
That's, my biggest gripe with it is probably the waste of money side of things, just because it is costing so many millions. And from my perspective, it's something that's an inevitability. Like, you look at Australia on the map, and we're in the same league as like Middle Eastern theocracies, like all those countries, Islamic countries and whatnot, and we're not on the same side as all the Western or like the Westminster countries. So that just makes no sense, and to me it's inevitable, it's going to happen. So I don't understand why they need to waste millions and millions that could go towards infrastructure, or I have a grandparent who struggles on the pension, and all his money went to superannuation, and they've depleted the super fund. So now pensioners and old people, which is a really common argument, how can they justify wasting public money on these sorts of things when citizens are struggling, and there's this and that is a thing with old people. They're all struggling, the pension isn't livable, and then they turn around and spend this amount of money on something that really should just probably be legalised if they want to be in keeping with tradition, not convention, but more like political tradition, and the fact that we're like all these other countries that have just legalised it.